Study guide number 7, page 2. Write 2.507, and I'm going to say it that way with words because I want to write it out with words. Now, the only time you can use the word and is for the decimal. So I've got 2 and I have to be able to write this without the word and. So we've got 500, 7, and then 3 decimal places is thousandths. Number 12, we've got 5 plus x is equal to 8 times 4. Well, let's clean this up just a little bit, and we've got 5 times x is equal to 32. So we need to know what number we can add to 5 to get 32. Well, to do that, we need to subtract, and we do some borrowing. 5 from 12 is 7, and we'll get x is equal to 27. And you can check that by saying 5 plus 27 is 32. The population of Chandler, Arizona increased from 89,862 to 176,581 in 2000. Let's see, this must have been in 1990 because it says how many people did the population increase over this 10-year span. So it didn't tell us it was 1990, but it would have been 10 years. So we've got 176,581 minus the original population. It's a big growth over 10 years. Now we've got to do some borrowing here. To take 2 from 1, we need to borrow from the 8. And so 2 from 11 is 9. 6 from 7 is 1. To get 8 from 5, we're going to have to borrow. So 8 from 15 is 7. We can't take 9 from 5, so let's borrow again. And 9 from 15 is 6. And then 8 from 16 is 8. So it had a very, very large increase, almost doubled the population. Number 14 says, find the area of a square whose vertices have the coordinates, and they give you the points. I'm going to stop and go graph it. I'm going to use it this way. Slide this up so we can see both. And I've got my x-axis and my y-axis. So we've got the point 3, 6. So 3 is my x. So I'm going to count 3 on my x-axis. And then 6 on my y-axis, which will be 6 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, the next point is 3, 1. 1, 2, 3 on the x and 1 on the y. Negative 2, negative 2x, and positive 1y. And negative 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Double check, make sure and so we have a square. Now we need to know what the side of that square is. And we can count our units, either any of the sides, because we know all the sides are the same. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units as a side. And we'll go back to our paper because the area of a square is equal to side by side, side times side, which is 25 square units. Number 15, use digits to write 12 and 24 hundredths. There's our decimal, so we've got 12 and then 24 hundredths. Hundreds is 2 decimal places, and there's our 2 numbers that go in those decimal places. Number 16, Mary bought 6 pounds of carrots for 85 cents a pound. She paid for them with a $10 bill. How much change did she get back? Well, it's a 2-step problem. We first need to know how much she spent. So she bought 6 pounds of carrots for 85 cents each. 8 times 6 is 48, 49, 50, 51 with 2 decimal, and she spent $5.10. So she took a $10 bill and paid for it. So we'll take away what she spent. 0, let's go ahead and bring our decimal down. 0 from 0 is 0. Got to do a little borrowing here. 1 from 10 is 9, and 5 from 9 is 4. So she got back $4.90. Number 17, the Daltons completed 30% of their 2,140-mile trip the first day. How many miles did they travel? Well, they traveled 30% of this mileage. Well, of is multiplication, So we're going to take 30% and multiply it by 2,140. Now 30% is a decimal or fraction. You can do 30 over 100, or you can put your decimal in. It'll be 0.3 or 0.30. You can do it either way, times 2,140. So I'm going to take 2,140 and do my 0.3 and multiply. 0 times 3 is 0. 4 times 3 is 12. Carry 1. 1 times 3 plus 1 is 4. And then 6 with 1 decimal place. So they traveled 642 miles the first day. Number 8, we're back to subtracting with mixed numbers and fractions. So I'm going to turn them sideways. Now, I can't take 3/5 from nothing, so I'm going to have to borrow from the 8, make it a 7, and then put it back as 5 over 5, equal to 1. We took 1 away and added it back. Now we can subtract. 3/5 from 5/5 is 2/5, and 2 from 7 is 5. So we have 5 and 2/5. We did division a while ago with mixed numbers. Here we have a whole number and a mixed number. So let's make them fractions first. Let's do 5 over 1 divided by 2 times 3 is 6 plus 2 is 8/3. KFC. Keep the first one. Flip the second one and change it to multiplication. Nothing cancels. We get 15 over 8. And if you divide 8 into 15, it goes one time with a remainder of 7, and the divisor is 8, 1 and 7/8. Number 20, we're going to do the number in the parentheses first. So we're going to do 1/2 divided by 2/3. I'll kind of do that as my scratch work over here. Again, KFC. So we've got 1/2, reciprocal the second one, and change it to multiplication. No canceling, we have 3/4. So let's take 3/4 and put it back up in the problem. So we've got 3/4 as our original fraction, minus 3/4, and if you have 3/4 and you take 3/4 away, you have 0 left over.